Shalom everyone, Parashat B'reishit, Tafshin Pei Vav. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Almost everyone is familiar with this pasuk, the first pasuk in the Torah, and it seems to be very clear and simple. It's not simple at all. Because very often in the Torah, there are words that we think that we assume we understand them, but actually it's not absolutely clear what they mean, because they can mean different things in different contexts. The Rambam in Moreh Nevuchim, the Guide of the Perplexed, puts in tremendous work to show us how the same word can mean different things in different places in the Torah, and this is very, very significant in order to understand the Torah accurately. And we're not going to get into this whole vast topic, but just to discuss the words Eretz v'Shamayim in this way. What does the word Eretz mean? Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. The simple meaning seems to be planet Earth, where we live, and Shamayim is what's above us. It's not so simple, because if you look only a few psukim ahead, to psukim 9 and 10, Hashem on the third day creates and separates the dry land from the waters, and the dry land is called Eretz. So what are the waters? Shamayim? Obviously not. So the term Eretz can mean different things in different psukim, and it's even more important to understand that the term Shamayim can mean different things, just like the term Aretz can mean different things. Because Shamayim, you might think, is, as I said before, what's above us, meaning the stars. But maybe once in the past, people looked up to the stars and said, that's above me, I can't get there. But today, with science and technology, we can reach the stars and we can study them, and maybe they become part of Eretz. Clearly, there's a Shamayim above that, which is beyond the physical, which is spiritual, which is lofty. So the term Shamayim can mean different things in different places in the Torah, just like the term Aretz. And the term Shamayim is used in many places in different ways, in the oral Torah, in the Kabbalah, in Jewish philosophy, in Chassidut. Here's an example from Torah Shebe'al Peh. Think about the term Torah min hashamayim. Does that mean that the Torah was given from the place where the stars are? Obviously not. It's using the term Shamayim in a higher meaning. Why is it so important for us to understand that the Torah might be using the term Shamayim in many different ways? Because it's significant for our lives. What are my aspirations? What is the Shamayim that I want to reach? When I reach one Shamayim, do I know that there's another one above that? We can always move higher. It's also important because sometimes people are talking to one another or arguing with one another, and they're using the same words and they don't mean the same thing. The pasuk in Kohelet says Elohim b'shamayim, and think of someone who's going to say to you, is going to argue with you about emunah, and he's going to say, well, I got into an airplane, I went up to Shamayim and I looked for him and I didn't find God over there, so he's not there. Obviously, you're not talking about the same Shamayim. That's a very simplistic example, but it just goes to show us that sometimes different people are using the term Shamayim or Torah min hashamayim, and they might be talking about two different things, which is important to understand in the process of understanding your own emunah and being able to discuss or even argue emunah with someone else. Another reason why this is important is because of different experiences of human beings. For instance, both physical and spiritual. In this world, we can go up on a very high mountain. My experience when I've done that is two things. Number one, when I'm on these vast mountains, I feel the tremendous power of these great mountains, the power of the creation and the power of the Creator. And two, when I look down from high up on a high mountain, everything underneath seems to be much more clear than when I'm down there at the bottom, at the foot of the mountain. These are also spiritual experiences, understanding how powerful the world can be, how we understand the world that we live in. There's also a limit, because if you go even higher on the mountain, you're going to just go up in the fog and the clouds and you're not going to see anything. And all of these are examples of both physical and spiritual experiences. There's always where to grow more. If you reach a certain level of Shamayim, you can grow to a higher Shamayim, and you should always know that there is a Hashem above you in an even higher Shamayim. And also, if you make a project, if you have an initiative, you want to do something to make Hashem's world better, a tikkun in the world, you don't always see how far, how high it can reach. When you set out to create your project, you see up to a certain level that you can think of right now. You don't know, maybe a few years from now your project is going to grow. Maybe it can reach tremendous places that you didn't see at the beginning. once you reach a certain shamayim, don't rest on that level. Keep moving up to a higher level of shamayim, because the term shamayim is a relative term. The sky is the limit. But what is shamayim? That is a relative term. Shabbat shalom.